In search of brighter days, I write through the maze of the madness. Struggle is my address where pain and crack lives. Gunshots coming from sounds of blackness. Given this game with no time to practice. Born on the blacklist, told I'm below average. A life with no cabbage. That's no money if you from where I'm from. Funny, I just want some of your son.
Distinguished delegation of legislators from the state and city of New York who have come to the Capitol to petition us as members of Congress from the Tri-Caucus and the Progressive Caucus. Tri-Caucus being the CBC, CHC, and the Asian Pacific Islanders Caucus, as well as the Progressive Caucus of the House of Representatives. They've also brought along with them our advocacy organizations, our legal organizations who have done so much of the yeoman's job in bringing this issue to light. We're going to open with the dean of our delegation sort of welcoming these folks to Washington and giving his remarks at this time, the Honorable Charlie Rangel.
Let me thank the staff of both the City Council and state legislators, and certainly of Yvette Clarke for organizing and bringing us together. And of course, Congressman Meeks and Congressman Towns, we've been participating in this subject even yesterday when we had meetings which we can't discuss with the Attorney General. I've been here over 40 years, and I can tell you that the only time the city-state has ever got together to petition the Congress, that their delegations, that I remember, is when budget time comes and asking for money. This is unique because the subject matter is unique. All of us, the core crime in our communities and throughout these great United States, all of us support our policemen, firemen, and public servants that put their lives on the line each and every day. But there comes a time when people's privacy, their pride, their dignity is at stake. And to that, no matter what the integrity or the intent of the mayors and the police chiefs has to be, we have to protect our constituents, especially our young people. For them to be denied decent opportunities in education, lack of job opportunity, and for them to try to strive to be all that they can be. And we have people in the City Council working hard, the state legislature, the Congress. They have people in uniform who don't know them, come from communities who have no understanding of their culture, have no concern about their dress and how they have to work with each other in order to survive in communities. To belittle them, to take away their dignity and their pride is something that we will not tolerate. So we welcome you here. This is an ongoing communication with all of us, and we are so glad that your office is able to get the necessary communications. And we're sorry the President and the Attorney General were not here, but we have broken the ice to let you know that your voices have been heard. You have enhanced not only the Black Caucus, the Progressive Caucus, and the Hispanic Caucus, but coming here and taking the time from your responsibilities is something that we appreciate. Meeks, why don't you say hello, since some of your constituents are here as well as mine.
Rush off. In fact, I'm going right now to the judiciary hearing to ask Attorney General Eric Holder to do an investigation of the NYPD because of the Muslim spying situation. So this is a very important question that I want to ask him directly. And let me say that as chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, I'm appalled that the New York Police Department spied on the Muslim community. The NYPD assumed that Muslims were guilty until proven innocent on no other basis than their faith. I want to ask the NYPD, what's so suspicious about student organizations or families trying to exercise their constitutional right to worship freely or even to just grab a bite to eat? The answer is nothing.
This is a civil rights issue. When you start talking about individuals who are being stopped simply because of their race or their dress or their religion, we're talking about violating individuals' civil rights in 2012. And I know sometimes people think that civil rights movement was over in the 1960s. No, We have to deal with that agenda right here today, and that's what this is all about.
Because there are two numbers that we have to remember in this issue of stop and frisk. That over 85% of the people stopped are members of our community, African American and Latino young people. And secondly, that 88% of them are found never to have been reason to have been stopped in the first place. And so if the police department and law enforcement cannot come up with a better plan to deal with the 12%, we're here to say that they have to stop harassing and dealing with the unfair practices against the 88%.
We want safer streets and better policing at the same exact time. Now, we have several issues. If you look at the numbers, no matter how you slice stop, question, and frisk, it is a racist, prejudicial policy that violates civil rights and civil liberty.
So, proud to be from Minnesota. But there's no question that New York has a unique role in the United States. You guys are trendsetters, and what happens in New York, often we see it in the Midwest pretty soon. You could say sooner or later, but usually it's sooner. And so when we see abuses of human rights, widespread spying, racial profiling, we get nervous because it's like, wow, you know, if they're doing it, we're next for sure. And of course, you know, there's no police department in America that has not gone through really decades of trying to enforce the law equally and at the same time dealing with everything from police brutality to spying. This is not a New York problem, it's a national problem. I'm very proud we're going to be offering an amendment today on the DHS appropriations debate and going on the House floor saying no federal funds that will be used to racially or religiously profile anyone. We'll be doing that. And we're looking for a winning vote today, and we can do that with your help. So let's stand for justice. Right now, America should always be liberty and justice for all.
What about I was walking near my home and was stopped by 4 plainclothes detectives in an unmarked vehicle. They initially drove past me, then put the car in reverse, got out, told me to stop right there. They demanded to see ID and asked why, and when I asked why, they responded that I had better show them ID or I would be spending the night in jail. I was stunned that this was happening to me on the corner of the block where I lived and felt safe coming and going at all times in the community where I grew up. Confused and frustrated, I pulled out my wallet and showed them my driver's license. As one officer checked my ID against the database, the others proceeded to pat down my clothing first, then dig into my pockets, the interior of my jacket, and jeans. When I asked them why they were doing this, the first officer who had returned with my ID said, "When a cop tells you to do something, you better do it." Those words stuck with me for a long time. I have tons of friends and acquaintances who've had similar experiences, often worse, often resulting in physical brutality and even hospitalization. As we can see, the proportionally low numbers of handguns actually recovered by this program shows that it is only effective in damaging police-community relations with very little benefit.
Dark clouds seem to follow me. Alcohol that my pop swallowed bottle me. No apology, I walk with a boulder on my shoulder. It's a cold war, I'm a colder soldier. Hold the same fight that made Martin Luther the king. I ain't using it for the right thing. In between lean and the fiends, hustle and the schemes, I put together pieces of a dream. I still have one.